Hello my friends, this is Black Halfdan 8 again from BHD8 Gaming. Back in May, we brought to you a video on the Anthology Event Store priorities that we had. Now that Strange New Worlds Part 3 is out, it has brought with it a new event store, so we figured we'll go ahead and share our priorities with you again, just like we did before. Let's do it. So to try to keep this video as short as possible, we will go ahead and explain our priorities in the comments if requested, on Discord as well. We will elaborate on our reason for picking certain things over others. So we will ignore a lot of that in this video. Our general guidelines, however, are to prioritize officers first, then your specialty ship blueprints, then your specialty ship parts to build them, and lastly, the rare special currencies. Not all special currencies, just things that are quite rare to go ahead and burn out with. We will pretty much be ignoring the rest of the event store because either it has little to no value at all, or you can source the items pretty easily outside of a very rare event store like we have right now. So diving straight into the officers, those Strange New World officers are an extremely high priority in most cases, but only if you have or can unlock Strange New World's Pike to go ahead and start leveraging it. Strange New World's Pike on his own will not do you a lot of good, however, so you will have to pick up probably Strange New World's Spock at the very least. Ideally, you'll pick up La'an next because that will round out an extremely good swarm crew for you. Then you can circle back and pick up the 𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵𝘁 from Strange New Worlds. That one will help you with your Borg probes as well if you need a good crew for that. 𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵𝘁 is not a bad card at all, but in the current meta, she is not very useful as the main battleship that you will be using against hostiles in a specialty situation at least is that Stella, and you will not be attacking explorers, which she is actually leveraged for. You will be attacking survey ships instead over there in your rogue space, which is why we recommend to probably go ahead and not pick her up unless you're very close to either unlocking her or tiering her up here. Moving on to that lower decks pack, that's pretty great that all of them are guaranteed at 4 shards apiece, but again, unless you are very close to either unlocking one or possibly multiple of those officers and or ranking them up, we will probably go ahead and bypass those as well, because you can source them fairly regularly and reliably with the Cerritos refinery that you'll get to do about half of the week if you complete your Cerritos events on Wednesdays. Now that 𝗂𝗵𝘁𝗵𝘁 pack, on the other hand, if you are a player that does not have at least a rank 1 Pike, a rank 3 𝗵𝘁, or a max tier 𝗁, this is a very good pack for you to pick up because that is an extremely great hostile crew. The last pack we're going to touch on here is that PvP Officers pack. That is a great pack to go ahead and pick up guaranteed Lorca shards for at a time. If you have not unlocked him yet, he's a great officer for PvP, and in some cases other crews like with the 𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵𝘁. So if you haven't picked him up yet, if you are close enough to do it with 1 or 2 of these packs or to rank him up, it is very difficult to source Lorca. The Section 31 refit for the Discovery has helped quite a bit to alleviate some of that, so if you have it, you may go ahead and pass here, but otherwise, it's a very important thing for most players to go ahead and pick up. The Honor Guard Worf shards, the Captain Tilly shards, and 𝘂𝗏 for some reason can kind of be ignored here, but the other ones are decent enough that if you don't have them yet, and you will be able to unlock them here, it's a very decent option for you. Real quickly, if you are enjoying this video, please leave it a like, comment down below on how you think we did on the officers portion here. Make sure to subscribe if you've not done so already so we can keep bringing you more Star Trek Fleet Command content, and share this video with your friends, alliance mates, what have you, that you feel like would also benefit from the information here. If you'd like to financially support our channel, you may do so through the links down in the description to our PayPal, Patreon, and you can actually join our YouTube channel for a monthly fee to unlock new emojis and get early access to these videos ahead of the general population. We also now have our live streams on YouTube on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, ending right around midnight to 1 a.m.-ish. Those are a great time to come hang out live with myself and the crew, ask your Star Trek Fleet Command questions, just get into some general shenanigans with us before we move on to whatever game we're playing that week. Currently it's Lost Ark, it could change, who knows. So now let's move on to the ship blueprints. We are going to be ignoring the non-specialty ships here because you should be sourcing those through other channels, not through the event store. We have taken into consideration the current meta in the game right now and done our best to provide a list that will fit most players in a general setting. As we move through this list, if you have the ship already mentioned, then skip it until you find a ship on this list you haven't got yet, and then we recommend working hard to pick it up. Our list is the Franklin first, then the Vidar, then the Meridian, before moving on to the Amalgam, then the Discovery, then the Cerritos, then your second Stella, and finally the 𝗂𝗄𝗄 actually. Again, we will get into our reasoning for these down in the comments and on the Discord channel if you are interested. Just ask and we will catch you up. But for the sake of speed, we are going to bypass our reasoning on all of this for now. And remember, this is generally a good path for most players, we feel, but go ahead and leave your comments in the description for the sake of the community if you feel like something here is just not right for most players. We are not above correction, as I'm sure you've noticed on our channel by now. Shifting gears to the ship parts, we're going to recommend any player that is operations level 40 or above without a max tier discovery hone in on those spore drive components, because you are missing out on some huge speed ups every week out of that discovery refinery. I myself am not there yet as a Ops 41 player. This is where I will be focusing a lot of event currency on my own primary account. Next, we would recommend most players try to push that Amalgam to tier 6. Real quick, we think tier 6 because that is when your refinery will improve quite a bit for your tracker shards as well as your faction reputation exocomps. And then possibly even those Devore parts if you're close to getting one to tier 8, so you can scrap it for half of the 𝗂𝗄𝗄, picking up the other half of the 𝗂𝗄𝗄 in the store here. We do recommend picking that up. It has a great warp range. Concentrated Latinum is not a be-all end-all, which is why we put it at the end of our specialty ships there a moment ago, but it is nice to have that reliable source of Latinum coming into your account. Last but not least, we'll move on to the special currency considerations here. Remember, we're going to focus in on the things that are really rare. This is where we expect most players to go ahead and burn out, if you will, the remainder of their event store credits. So in the spirit of that, independent credits will cripple your ability to build some very key officers in the game. If you do not have enough, you have the ability here to source up to 5,000 of those. So if you need them, this is a great way to go ahead and procure them. The Syndicate and Traits XP are also very rarely wasted. So if you are behind on one or the other, it is not a bad idea to go ahead and swing in here and get those as well. The last things that we did want to briefly touch on here is that the pattern buffers are now available to source in a free-to-play manner, which is fantastic as far as we're concerned. That is a great way to let players go back and visit content that they either didn't get to experience when they first joined the game or that just never ran for them since they've been playing. We have not yet studied the efficiency on the missions that you unlock from that, however, so we can't really recommend buying any of these with your event store credits right now. So we probably would hold off right now on buying those for this event store. We will be testing on our non-primary accounts though, because this is a great way to pick those up for our other lobby accounts to see what the seed mission is that you unlock. And referencing STFC.space, we will go ahead and be able to tell what sort of materials, resources, etc. you unlock for that. If you'd like to help us research for that video, please just reach out so we can try to assign some things to you so that we can make this video come around a little bit sooner. We think it would be great for the community to have that at their disposal. So again, that is just generally how we feel like most players want to approach this event store. Just to recap really quickly, your officers are the game. That's why we put them ahead of everything else. Then unlocking specialty ships you do not have yet, before moving on to building up those specialty ships with those special ship parts, and rounding out with your rare special currencies with whatever remaining event store credits you have. We want to thank everyone who has supported the channel, whether that be monetarily, as we mentioned previously, with your likes, shares, comments, etc. It helps us tremendously. Of course, subscribe for more Star Trek Fleet Command and other gaming content. Thank you very much for watching. Choose to live, my friends, and we'll see you again soon.